All right, for task 14, the slope of a line is usually calculated by rise over run. So you count how far up it goes and then how far over it goes, and is usually represented by the letter M for slope. There are 4 types of slope. Positive slopes are those that go uphill. Negative slopes are those that go downhill. Zero slopes go perfectly horizontal. Undefined slopes go straight up and down. If you're ever looking at a graph, you can classify it straight into one of those. For an equation of a line, we use slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So you might remember from just up here, slope is the m, b is the y-intercept. It's the place where it hits the y-axis. So when it says write the equation of a line with a slope of 2/3 and crosses the y-axis at 5, well, that's going to be y equals, it says the slope is 2/3, so 2/3 x plus, it crosses the y-axis at 5, so 2/3 x plus 5. If you want to identify what slope and y-intercept are, you need to get y by itself. So this first one is pretty straightforward. Y is already by itself, so this one's good. The slope is this -2 right here. And the y-intercept is +6. In this guy, not so good. Y is not by itself, so I can't say anything about it yet. If I want y to be by itself, I need to move the x's first. So -4x from both sides. So I'm going to have 2y equals. I'm going to put the -4x in front, because if I remember up here, mx plus b, I want the x to come first. It still says 2y, and I want to get rid of that 2, so divide everything by 2. And I get y equals, -4 divided by 2 makes -2x plus 3. So the slope is -2. The y-intercept is +3. Now, that all is well and good, but the ACT mostly cares about parallel and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines have the same slope. So, for example, if one of your lines has a slope of 3, then the parallel slope is also going to be 3. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocals. So you might remember that opposite means the sign changes. Reciprocal means it flips upside down. So, for example, if I have 1/2, then the perpendicular slope, flip that upside down and change the sign. Instead of positive, it's going to be negative. Instead of 1/2, it's going to be 2/1, which you might just know as -2. All right, so this is how the ACT usually looks. It tries to sneak in a bunch of things into one question. Which of the following equations are perpendicular to y equals 2/5 x minus 3? So first off, the slope of this line is 2/5. And what it's asking about is the perpendicular. So the perpendicular slope is going to be -5/2. Now you'll notice that over here, none of these guys have y by itself. So we've kind of just got to go through it. For this guy to get y by itself, 10 equals 2x plus 5y. I'm going to minus 2x from both sides. I'm going to get -2x plus 10 equals 5y. Divide by 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. I get y equals 10 divided by 5 makes 2. -2/5 just kind of stays. So if I look at the slope here, -2/5 is not the perpendicular slope. And I'm actually going to do a little bit of magic here. See how we divided by 5 to get the slope? This guy, the 5y, tells me that at some point I'm going to have to divide by 5. But that's not what I want to be on the bottom. So I'm not even going to bother trying that next one for a minute. I'm going to try these guys, because these guys will both have me dividing by 2 at some point, and that would be good, because the perpendicular slope will also have me dividing by 2. So if I try that next one, so let's try C. 10 equals 5x minus 2y. Going to minus the 5x from both sides. I get negative 5x plus 10 equals negative 2y. Divide out the negative 2. And I get y equals, this turns out to be negative 5. Negative divided by a negative makes a positive. So this is really close. 5 over 2 and negative 5 over 2 are close, but there's a slight issue here. So let's try the next one. The next one has me dividing not by a negative, but by a positive. So there's probably a very good chance of that. 10 equals 5x plus 2y. Get a minus 5x from both sides. Negative 5x plus 10 equals 2y. Divide out the 2. And I get y equals 10 divided by 2 makes 5. And negative 5 over 2x. So if I look at that, negative 5 over 2 for the slope, the answer would be D.